Clara Jane Bryant Ford had walked beside Henry since the early days, long before fame and fortune. She had endured his long absences, his obsession with the factory, his stubborn quarrels with their son. And yet, in those later years, it was Clara who offered him something that no fortune could buy: forgiveness. Neighbors remembered seeing them strolling together in the gardens of Fairlane, Henry's arm hooked gently through hers. Once Clara was overheard telling a friend, "He gave his life to the world. I only wish he had saved more of it for us." It was not bitterness, but a soft truth spoken by a woman who had carried the weight of a marriage tethered to an empire. Henry had once thought love was something separate from work, something fragile that slowed a man's progress. But as his empire grew beyond his control, he began to see that love, Clara's steady love, was the only constant. When the engines roared too loudly, when rivals eclipsed him, when even his own mind faltered, Clara remained. Her forgiveness was not loud. It was quiet, steady, lived out in gestures, pouring his tea, smoothing his coat, sitting with him by the fire in silence. She had every reason to resent him, yet she chose to stay, to see him not as a giant of industry, but as the boy she married in 1888, the man who once brought her wildflowers and spoke shyly of dreams. Forgiveness, in the end, was Clara's revolution, and it gave Henry something more enduring than wealth: peace in the arms of the woman who had walked through every storm with him. For decades, Henry Ford had battled unions, resisted strikes, and demanded loyalty from the men on his lines. Yet, in the final chapter of his life, a strange reconciliation unfolded. The very workers who once cursed his name began to speak of him with reverence. They remembered the $5 day, the higher wages that changed their family's fortunes. They remembered the cars that gave them freedom, the jobs that pulled them from poverty during the Depression. For every story of pain, there was another of gratitude.